Hi everyone, welcome back to Beyond the Mirror. We're your hosts, Grace and Yohanna, and as you know today, and especially this week, we're really focusing on anorexia. So today we have one of our really good friends, Diana, talking about having kind of an observer's perspective on a multitude of people that have experienced eating disorders, and just talk to us today about kind of how to help people that dealing with it, what to do when you're facing a situation that you know someone that you love, a close friend that is dealing with an eating disorder, which is specifically anorexia.
Okay,
Thank
so
you.
do you want to tell us about yourself? Like who you are?
Um, I'm Diana. I'm a sophomore. Um, well, for this episode, I would just say I've had a lot of people in my life, close people that have experienced eating disorders, and that's what we're gonna be talking about.
Yeah. So, what was your first reaction when? Because I know that
Mm-hmm.
kind of a back thing is that Diana's sister did struggle with an eating disorder. So, what was your first reaction when you realized that your sister was struggling, and how did that kind of make sense of it at the time?
Yeah. Um, at the time, I was completely in my own headspace. So when the news came out that everyone in our family started finding out from our parents that my sister had an eating disorder. At the time, it felt like I was observing it happen. Like I wasn't I wasn't being talked to. I was just watching it happen, and I just remember feeling immense guilt and sadness cuz it never crossed my mind before that my sister was struggling with like an eating disorder, and it made me really sad because the whole time when she kept pushing me away, I kept getting angry at her. So I was like, okay, you don't want me in your life, I don't want you in my life. So even though our bedrooms are like right next to each other, we would ignore each other and everything. So I remember, I think I walked into my sister's room and my mom was in there and they were talking about this eating disorder thing. At the time, I'm like, what is that? And then just figuring it all out, it was like I was just guilty, and I was like so sad that I had never had a single idea that that was happening.
Well, I know that you've mentioned before that obviously I wasn't the only person in your life dealing with an eating
Yeah.
disorder. What was it like when you first realized that there was other people around you that were dealing with it?
Same thing. It's like all the people that I know that dealt with it so far, they're really good friends of mine. They're people that I look up to. They're people I admire and love so much that I never want anything bad to happen to them. So when I found that out, that my best friends, my sister, or just friends that like I really loved, that they had an eating disorder because it stemmed from thoughts that they're not good enough, they're not worthy, that their bodies are ugly, just negative thoughts. It just made me really sad. And immediately I just wanted to find out how can I help without prying and feeling like overwhelming. Because I know for a lot of people, when they're struggling with like mental health or problems, everyone immediately feels guilty, of course, because most of the time no one ever realizes someone's struggling, and they start pressuring people. They're like, oh, you don't want to eat, now you have to eat. Oh, you want to kill yourself, well, you can't do that, live for me. It's like that doesn't work. So immediately I would think, how can I help this person without feeling like overwhelming them and making them feel like it was making them regret opening up, essentially.
Yeah, and I'm sure that was also especially hard too, because you were saying how a lot of people that did struggle with eating disorders, there were
Hmm.
people that you looked up to. So
Yeah,
it's kind of that hard having the mentality. It's like, how can you see yourself like that when you saw
exactly. I
themselves as
was like
such like,
mind blown.
right, exactly. You're like into all of them and just everything.
Hmm.
So it's like, how can you see yourself like that when you picture them as such like,
Yes,
I don't know, strong people or a
exactly.
strong person.
Don't cry yet.
I'm not crying. All right.
You're gonna
Um,
cry.
how did your understanding, I guess, because you didn't know what an eating disorder was, how
No.
did your understanding of anorexia nervosa like change as you saw it, basically take over your loved ones' lives?
Well, how everyone immediately views anorexia, eating disorders, what's bulimia? Bulimia. It's always the skinny thing. It's always that I just need to be skinny. And obviously, for the people that I know, that was the case. They want to be skinnier. But I know for other people, it's wanting to gain weight or like build muscle, tone their bodies and everything. And eventually when I found out, like it was one person after another. I did not catch a break. Because like I found out my sister had an eating disorder, and then I found my best friend had an eating disorder, and then I found out, oh, my other friends in my friend group also have an eating disorder. And immediately I'm the person that once I find out there's like a struggle or something, I want to know more about it. So I would go online, I would search up articles, I would search up like videos of like people that struggled with it, because it was a foreign concept in my brain.
Mhm.
So, and I was already so guilty, like I didn't know, like a lot of the times you don't know something exists.
You're just
And
ignorant about
yeah,
it.
I was, and I'm like, and I've always been considered a smart person. So I've immediately when I found out this disorder existed, I'm like, I'm so stupid. Like, how could I not think that existed?
Mhm.
And how long has this person been going through it? So I wanted to know more about it to help those that I love.
And it's
You know?
also hard just being a mediator in that like as well because it's everyone around you, your
Yeah,
friends, your family, where it's like you're only one person. There's always so much you can do,
exactly.
and I know it is like you honestly you made a big impact on like a lot of people's lives, but it's hard trying to be that safe person for just so many people.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So, when we asked you to come on to the podcast, what made you say yes? Like, why did
My
you come on?
immediate reaction, this goes before even being asked to be on this video. When my sister told me her passion project was gonna be this, the Beyond the Mirror, I was immediately proud. That's the first thing I felt, and I felt so happy. Yeah, because I know opening up is super hard. Even about anything, a lot of people struggle with that, and it's unfortunate because you don't realize something's wrong with someone until it's too late. So being able to be here with my sister and know that she's doing better and she wants to advocate for those that are struggling with this made me so proud. I'm like, that's so admirable, and I love that because you're turning your struggles and you're finding solutions and you're helping others who are dealing with the same thing and don't feel confident. They don't feel like they're important enough to go to other people and talk to them about it. So I was immediately, yes, I'll help however I can. If you need help editing, if you need help posting, drawings, anything, like just let me know. And I'm so happy to be able to help you guys
Right.
with this video.
And it shows such a personal growth as well, where it's like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, you were at this point in your life where you didn't think that you were going to live past 14 years old. And the fact that you turned a full 180 and you're making videos about how to help other people, how to advocate for things like that a lot of people like myself, it goes unnoticed. And for Diana as well, it's just something that like we were ignorant about. So I don't know. Yeah, I understand what you mean. It's such a
Yes.
yeah.
It's such a like great thing that she's actually moving forward and she's making an impact. I love that.
Hmm. So, kind of, as you know, that I think the biggest thing too is the first time you heard it was from your sister. So, what do you hope people take away from hearing almost a sibling's point of view on this?
If your sibling is pushing you away, don't immediately get angry at them, because oftentimes not. You have to think about Sonder. Everyone has their own lives, everyone has their struggles, thoughts, feelings, emotions. You can't just think they're angry at me, so I'm gonna be angry back. I'm not gonna talk to you. That was my mistake. I just accepted it. I kept trying to push, but at some point, I'm like, I'm not getting anywhere. So I accepted it. We barely talked for like a whole year, maybe like good morning or like how was your day, but that's it. And don't don't be too hard on your siblings. Like you should be understanding, because at the end of the day, they're the people that are always going to be there for you whether they want to or not. Don't forget that, and always be like, oh my god, just be mindful of what you say and just be understanding. And I feel like that would definitely go a really long way.
Oh, that was sweet. Made me tear up. Can you describe one of the first moments that you realized something was wrong with either me or with the other people in your life that were struggling with anorexia?
Oh yeah. Yes.
And exactly right.
That takes me back. How they act, they would lash out, they would get angry, they would push people away. I'm like, that's weird. What did I do wrong? And then it dawned on me, I'm like, I didn't do anything wrong. It's just they're lacking food in their system. They barely have the energy to go to school, to talk to others. So
To
if
put on this
I'm
kind of persona too.
exactly,
Yeah.
so that was the main thing. Emotions, personality wise, changed. Not some of them drastically, some of them not, but it was still noticeable. And obviously, body shape. Like, I don't know how else to say it. Physically, like for some of them, they would. I don't know how to describe it. Their skin would be paler. They would look like, well, how do you call it? Ashier,
Ashy?
but like,
Like
not
like
ashy, not ashy. Like the ashen, like you lose color, you look yellower, you
okay.
look pastier, stuff like
Mhm.
that. And it was just really noticeable. But also, I was kind of stupid. I wouldn't question it, but it was always there. So those are always like some notable signs. Also,
Yeah.
hair loss and stuff like that, super big. That's what I when I'm thinking back, thinking about connections, that stands out.
Hair loss?
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah. So what did that was that kind of a unanimous thing overall, like with everyone that you noticed, or
Kind of, yes, definitely thinning. Like their hair would thin, their body obviously changes because like that's what they want, that's their end goal. So that was obviously a change. Skin color, they would be paler,
Mhm.
and like just stuff like that. And also like how much their body can endure. Like obviously it's less than a normal person who's healthier and that is eating regularly. So, just stuff like that, I would
And
say.
I know that you noticed how like one of the things you said that Johanna was just because there was physically just not enough food in her system that you
Hmm.
were like meaner or you're more like snappy. What was there any specific moment that happened that was notable or just anything as a whole?
When she would be lash out towards
Mhm.
me, it was every day. It was every single day. I during freshman year, I could not see her. She went to a different school. She went to high school, obviously, big change. I was still in middle school, but every day I would go into her room and I would say, "Hey, want to go outside, play volleyball? Do you want to play Roblox? Do you want to do anything with me?" And she would tell me, "No, get out of my room." She would be on her phone. And obviously, I didn't take it too personally, but I was already a very introverted person, so I had my friends, but even then, I've always felt awkward around others. I'd never really reach out. I don't know how to, and it's like it's weird for me. So, I don't remember a day without my older sister, so when that started happening, I was like, "Oh, sorry. Oh,
So
let me look away from you." Sorry.
let me turn away.
Sorry. Wait, let me lock in. Let me lock in. Let me lock in.
Dairy Queen closes in 5 minutes. We took the big cheese.
I mean, yeah, I found other sources of entertainment. I would watch a lot of TV or just read a lot. I'm a heavy reader. I read so much. Or just find my own times. But obviously, I always felt there was a big distance between me and my sister, ironically, because she's literally next door, next
Right.
room, right? So but yeah, when she would grace me with her presence, I would be really happy. I wouldn't even if she was mean to me, I'm like at least she's talking to me. At least she's willing to communicate and go outside with me once in a while. Even though if it was like because other friends invited her that are we have a lot of like my mom has her friends and she has daughters, so we hang out.
In like a group setting and yeah.
Exactly. So that's only when she would actually like put on this fake persona that's like super happy. And like, even if it's fake, even if I can tell it's fake, I try to enjoy it. And I was just happy that like she was still there. Like she
Yeah.
was still in there somewhere. That's like the best way I can
Yeah.
say it.
And then
Crab or something in my shell.
You were.
but it's hard because especially since like you were saying you're an introvert, it's like you've never had a life without her, and the
Yeah.
fact like the person that you've been with literally since you were born, where it's so much is changing and so much is different.
Yeah, I was also struggling with my own stuff, so I didn't really take it too personally. I'm like, well, she's dealing with her stuff, I'm dealing with my stuff, so I didn't think too much of it,
Yeah.
essentially, yeah.
And then also what you were saying too, it's even when you're in group settings with people who aren't your direct family, how you put on this persona. And it kind of shows too, because I know that um even though like you specifically as well, a lot of people it's like they kind of let their borders down when they're with their family. So even though I guess it was in kind of lashing out way in a meaner way, at least you're letting down some sort of
Yeah.
border. Like at least it wasn't a huge, completely different persona. But yeah.
So I know you talk about, the changes that you noticed in your friends and in me. Did it ever scare you seeing us, I guess, become a shell of the person that we were from the beginning?
Not really. I was kind of used to I got used to it. I ever scared of you? No. Was I scared for you? Yes. I was scared for my friends. I was scared for my sister, you obviously. I just I don't
established already. Fun fact.
like growing up. I was always told I was like the more intimidating person. So there was really nothing that really scared me. So did they scare me? No. I was just scared for them. I just wanted to like, dude, you need help. How can I help you? How can we help you? Type of thing.
And was this before you knew like everything, or was this kind of when you were still on the fence of like everything that's happening yet?
I think it took for me to find out everything to fully understand the severeness of it, and that's when actually started to put more work towards like seeking them out and helping them in any way I could.
Mm-hmm. And then, did you ever question whether you were overthinking anything, or was it kind of adamant to you from the get go that something was wrong?
Like overthinking if they needed help.
Yeah.
No. I'm like, they need help. I know it. And a lot of the times if I know I'm right, I'm probably right. So I'm like, if they're struggling, if they're struggling, I don't care if they don't need help. Obviously, like you can't just turn away from that. And when I started noticing like serious signs of like they're not eating, they've gone like how many days without eating, they only want to drink water, they only want to snack on gum, they don't want to drink like um what is it, carbonated drinks or like soft
sodas,
drinks,
yeah,
stuff
yeah.
like that. And I would just notice that. And obviously, I wouldn't try to pressure them or push it onto them, but just gentle reminders if I could. Like, hey, we're gonna eat, so maybe you should eat something, even if it's a little bit. Like, even a little bit is better than nothing. That's like the first step. That's obviously like from eating nothing. The baby steps, obviously, it would be to like eating a little bit, even if it's like just a bite or two, like just eat something.
I know.
Exactly.
Sorry. It's especially hard when a lot of people are pushing this thing where it's, I know during this time when I'm sure when you knew was kind of when your parents started becoming aware as well,
Mm-hmm.
where it's a big push of, okay, here's a plate of food, now eat the entire thing. It's hard just going from, yeah, eating nothing like you were
Yeah.
saying to expecting someone that's been struggling for a while, all right, eat the entire meal and go. It's like, that's just not.
super unrealistic. And I'm like, you're just stupid if you think that you can tell an anorexic person who's on their journey of healing, eat a whole plate. Like, that's not gonna happen. You need to be more understanding, and you have to be aware if you're trying to help people who are struggling with like anorexia, eating disorders, whatever it may be. Your words aren't just gonna make them change the next day. You can't get impatient with them. You have to be understanding, and you can't just pressure people into doing something because you want it. You can't just tell them you have to eat, at least for me. You can't tell them stuff like that because it's not going to work, and it's kind of selfish. That's how I view it. That's why I never resorted to that, because I'm like, if I can't even do some things for myself, why would I expect things for other people? That's double standards. And it's not, you shouldn't rely on that. It's like hypocrite. Like, please no. So
Don't do that.
like I would just tell people like, come on, just eat. It's just food. Like, it won't hurt you. And if you're really worried about it, we can go on a walk the next day. We can play a sport the next day. You can wear it off, but at least like don't hurt yourself by thinking you shouldn't eat. Like, don't resort to that.
That's genuinely so mature of you. Like, I don't.
Thank you.
How old were you during this kind of era?
I've always been kind of mature, so how old was I? Like 12, 11?
Yeah, she's like 13.
I
That's
was 13.
I feel like it's like this advice is, I don't know, I'm just saying this is really good, even because it's a lot of just, it's a give and take. It's like, yeah, even though you don't want to eat, you're just giving options, like, hey, it's okay, we can go on a
Exactly.
walk, we can bike, we can do a lot. I just think a lot of people are just giving these unrealistic expectations, like you were saying,
Exactly.
where it's eat and that's it, and it's that's just not that's gonna just continue relapsing. That's just gonna continue a bad cycle of even just like maybe even starting bulimia. Just different things can happen because of that.
Exactly. They're not animals. They're not your pet. You can't expect a person to listen to your words like you expect your dog to like
Right.
sit, bark, roll. Like they're not gonna do that. They have their own thoughts. They have their own emotions. They're probably gonna be opposed to whatever you're trying to do to help them. So just be really aware of that, and you should like think about how you're wording it, and try not to come off as pressuring or like overwhelming, because you don't the last thing you want to do is overwhelm the person, or like make it like going from not caring to immediately caring. It can be like a crazy shift, and obviously for a lot of people it takes time to like get used to. Like it would be so weird if you went from thinking nobody cared about you to everyone suddenly wanting, like every little thing you did they want an update and everything. Like that's just like very, I don't know, it's like weird and selfish in my opinion.
Were you aware of that kind of one of the 0 to 100?
Yeah, I talked about in my video how I held resentment towards some of my family members who didn't really care until it was gonna take my life. Yeah, I think aside from my sister just being so mature for her age, she like again she mentions that I wasn't the only person in her life. Like she obviously learned through multiple different experiences what to do. Even if she did, I doubt she ever messed up giving advice, but I feel like if there was one time that she did, she probably quickly learned from it and fixed it the next time.
Yeah, I just want to say, just by mentioning that, okay, you're like, you struggled with it, but there's other people, that's not to belittle anyone who's struggling with it. Obviously, you matter just as much as the next person. We all matter. So just don't think, well, there's already other people in their lives that are struggling, so I shouldn't be struggling, so I should keep it to myself. No, that's not the case. I'm just saying it's so it's so normalized that a lot of people can have it. So don't think it's to belittle anyone by saying, yeah, you had it, but there's more people that have it. A lot of people can have it and they need help, and you need help, and it's okay to both need help. You get what I'm trying to say?
Yes,
Like,
we get what you're
because
trying to put down.
you keep saying, I know I'm not the only person in her life that struggled with it. That's not to belittle you or push you aside or make you feel like you're less than the other people who also had it, because they're just as important. Okay, you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
No, but I
Oh,
like that.
thanks.
I like that you tell me that because it just reminds me again that I'm not alone. That there's more people struggle with it. I've never seen it as anyone trying to belittle me. I say it as I just take it as a
There are people like
realization
me.
of, oh yeah, there's people like me, and that if they get better, they're proof that things can get better for me too.
Yeah.
Aw.
Yeah, I'm glad you never thought that, because like I
No,
know
I mean
other
if I
people
disagree
do.
with
So
you.
this is the whole point, is to bring awareness to a lot of people. So obviously, if you guys have viewers that are like feel like they're alone and stuff like that, and they know people in their own lives that are also struggling, that doesn't mean you're any less important. That's basically.
You big one.
So, kind of going right, she really did. Kind of going into depth though of what you saw versus what others didn't. Was there any specific things that you noticed about your sister, about others, um, that other people around you didn't really seem to see, or was it kind of apparent?
The double person act that they put up, it's, you never know how the situation is at home. So a lot of people that didn't know that, like for example, my sister was struggling, they would only see the most energized version of herself because that's who she wanted to be seen as. But I happened to be at home with her, so I would see who she actually was without when she wasn't trying to pretend for everyone. And you it's when someone's struggling, it can be really hard to notice. Like you you know how they say that a person could be struggling, but they can be the happiest
Happiest, I
person
was
in the
about to say
room.
that, yeah.
You never know that, and obviously that's a big change. And for those that they know people in their life, siblings that are struggling, and you can see them. You're good. You okay?
All right, yeah.
And if you have siblings and you see them struggling, but you know they also put on like an act outside of home, you should speak up about it. That's what I did, and of course my sister got mad at me about it. But do I regret it? No, because now she's making great achievements that she's gonna be proud of herself later on in life. So speak up if you can.
I think even though I was mad in the moment, I'm glad that you said something because my sister did save my life. In theory, if you think about it.
Oh.
Yeah, don't let it get to your head. I'm joking. No.
Don't let that get to your head. Okay.
No.
But also with that whole like happily bubbly persona, and I know that happens a lot too, where I know in Johanna's episode too, she made it a point to make sure that everyone around her just didn't notice anything, that you were still super happy, you were still just super bubbly yourself, like nothing has changed. And kind of being at home was the only time and the only place where you're able to decompress.
Yeah,
And
because nobody else is watching except for me.
right,
I was
exactly.
watching,
So
so
she just
yeah.
took it out on you.
Oh yeah, definitely.
No, but it's also why would you want to be perceived as someone that's sad all the time?
Of course, yeah.
Like, yeah, I wanted people to know I was happy. Thinking back about it, like saying that out loud, it's kind of like, dang, I didn't want my sister to see me at my best version of myself. But it's kind of like, again,
That was your sister though.
we
It's
grew up. I
super
don't have to
different.
pretend in front of my like. I don't have to pretend like you
Okay.
say, clapping my hands, kumbaya. Like, I was not having. I was not like in a good place.
Okay, my mistake. I didn't mean to say person puts on an act or they're pretending. My bad. I should word it differently. What I meant to say is that they prioritize putting being their happiest with other people. That doesn't mean it's fake, but obviously they burn out faster than the rest of us if they're already struggling with their own body, like their physical like health. So I didn't mean to call your act fake. I'm sure you were really happy with your friends. I'm sure other people they're really happy with their friends, but just at home they don't feel like they need to be that bubbly person
Yeah.
the whole time.
And then was there a moment or a time in any place that you felt that people didn't really understand the situation or anything like that? Or did you think that everything?
Not that they didn't understand the situation, but they romanticized it, and I find that
Oh.
disgusting because
Speak your truth. Yeah.
thank you. That's why I'm here because I'm gonna tell every idiot that thinks it's okay to romanticize and normalize it. Like hell no, you need help too. It's okay. Find help. It's there for you. Please don't romanticize struggling. Don't think it's cute to pretend you have depression, anxiety, eating disorders. It's not. I guarantee you it's not worth the struggle, and if you don't have it, try to stay away from it because you don't it's draining and it's exhausting and it's something you have to live with the rest of your life. You can be on your way to rehab, recovering, but it's always gonna be there. It's always gonna follow you like a shadow. It's gonna be quiet. You're not gonna. It's like, and on your worst days, it might come back, and it's always gonna be there. So don't romanticize it. Don't normalize it with your friends. If you see your friend is struggling, don't just laugh about it and then go home and gossip and spread it. But don't do anything. Like if you're gonna do something, speak up and help them seek help, even if they don't want it, because you might just save their lives, and it's really important.
Did you
All of them. Like it's not to be mean.
did you ever feel like you were carrying the weight of being the
You're good. You're good.
only one who knew about your friends' disorders or mine?
Yes.
Is there I know you were talking about this before, but is there any way you can like, pinpoint a specific moment where that kind of all?
They just happen to be my best friends that were struggling with this, and the only time I felt conflicted was between getting them help and losing their trust. Because when with my best friends, I know their parents. I talk to them. I like to greet them. And my best friend, her mom, she's always asking me about her because she's also introverted. She's also quiet. She doesn't really talk to her parents. And I remember like there was a conflicting moment where it just kept happening. The situations where I would tell her, "Oh, are we gonna eat?" And she's like, "No, I'm not hungry." And it was obvious to me that she has an eating disorder. And I'm like, my mom would, she talks to her mom and she would tell me, I was on the phone with your mom's friend and she was asking me to ask you how is she doing because she doesn't really talk to me. I'm like, oh shoot. Like, should I open up? Should I be honest and tell them I think they're struggling and you should help them seek help? or should I just remain quiet and try to support them? And I felt really helpless, so I'm like, what can I help them with? So I just try to be there with them, try to ensure nothing, they didn't harm themselves to the point it's to a turning point where they can't go back. And it's always like when you're thinking of should I help them seek professional help, it's always like the thought of what if I lose their trust? What if they hate me? And I feel like you should still do it because they're probably not going to do it themselves. They're definitely not going to seek help themselves. Definitely not.
Yeah, but even if you feel like the person's gonna hate you, they're not gonna hate you. I think people are talking in my experience. I only hated my sister for a second, maybe at most, and it's kind of like now. I literally just said I think my sister saved my life. I think it's when people recover and they look back on it now, they're like I'm really glad that that person spoke up about it because I wasn't gonna do it
In the
myself.
moment, it genuinely felt like the least I could do. Like, I'm not kidding. Like, I didn't even see it as a selfish thing or a thing that I should be praised for. I'm like, if I don't do this, this is going to continue to happen until someone ends up dead. And obviously, no, we don't want that. So, yeah.
Was there ever a time that that you knew that me or someone else in your life was trying to hide not the disorder, but kind of just hide stuff that they knew was wrong, and how did that affect you?
Mm, I don't know. I feel if I'm close to someone, I'm super close with them because obviously I'm very introverted. Um, I don't like talking to people, but when it comes to my best friends, I feel like I know them well enough that even if they try to hide it from me, you're not hiding it from me. I can see right through you. I have a sister who struggled with it. So when I see my own friends, when I saw my friends develop this, I'm like, no, you need help.
Right.
And we're going to get you help. And I don't know, just stay by their side and ensure like nothing bad happens because that's like the worst case scenario in my head. I'm like, stay away from that. Don't let that happen.
Yeah. And then also kind of going back to what you were saying too. I know you were saying how in the moment it's a lot of pressure and I completely agree with that. And then like Johanna, you were saying how looking back she did save your life. But I understand your perspective of where it's like you don't want this person that's been with you your entire life or one of your closest friends to be mad at you for a decision, even though you know in the ending it's gonna help them overall, but it's still hard knowing how it's like you're like betraying them in some sense, like you
Yeah.
know something, but it's difficult. And I understand that point of view where it's like I know like in the ending it's hard, but you know it's good for right now. You know, well it's gonna help in the long run. Is what
Yeah.
I'm trying to say. But yeah, so what was it like too? And I was always really been interested in this too. Watching someone you love struggle with it while not being able to change it. How did that really affect you? Because you can only do so much as a
Exactly.
support
Going
system.
Well, that's a really good question for you because I feel like you like to be in control of situations. I feel like I've always seen you as someone that likes to know what's happening. Like even before you came out to the podcast, you asked what are the questions you're asking me.
I just wanted a pre-warning.
I feel like you're always someone who wants to be prepared.
I was the least prepared when that happened, so completely lost in my I was not in my element. I didn't know what was happening, my bad. And kind of before I really started to uh start thinking and pushing myself to helping other people, I felt hopeless seeing this happen. And I don't know, I would say, speaking for the people that happen to watch this happen, sometimes people have tend to they would tend to want to understand other people, so they start thinking about it to the point they're also questioning their own value. That kind of happened for me, not to be like negative or make it about myself, but obviously I kept seeing these people that were really precious to me. They were struggling, and finding out they lacked self value. They didn't care about themselves. They hated themselves and stuff like that.
When
It
you
got
can
me
picture them as anything but that.
exactly. I started to feel my start. I remember starting to think, well, what about me and stuff like that. And immediately before it got too bad, I'm like, whoa, 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 we cannot go there because then I'm also gonna be a victim. I'm also gonna grow into a habit that I definitely would not want, and I'm grateful I don't have. And of course, like my sister called me out. I like to come prepared. I like to have a control of situations I'm in. So I felt really helpless and I just felt really conflicted like a lot of the time. But I'm glad we're not in those dark ages anymore because it was it was hard. It was hard to speak up about it.
Yeah. And I don't know. I feel like
You were using your strawberry as a mic.
too. But yeah, I don't know because I feel like I'm the same type of person where it's I want to be in control of everything at the same time and just knowing how you can help, but at the end of
Yeah.
the day, it's what you had to do. It's this a battle that you had to
Yeah,
face versus yourself.
you can only lend so much help. They have
Right.
to want it or else they're not gonna change. You can get as much help as you want, but if the person is like, no, I don't want help, they're probably not gonna change. So you just the person that is seeking help, you need to take that leap yourself. Or else like nobody else can do it for you. You have to want what's best for yourself. Like I can tell you a million words and if the person is so adamant on wanting to die,
Then
it's
what
not
are
gonna
you gonna
change.
do, right?
You need to get out of your headspace and you have to listen for once. You can't argue. Sometimes you just have to listen to what the other person is telling you. That's how a conversation works. You one person says something, you listen to it, and then you respond. Obviously, and a lot of people that tend to not want help, they're stubborn and their ears are like closed, they block out everything. Sometimes you need to take a step back and actually listen to what a person's telling you. And then you can determine whether it's stupid or not, if it's good advice or not.
Right.
Mhm. I'm really glad that you mentioned the whole that you were kind of trying to slip into that same mentality of, well, if you think about,
Yeah.
if you see yourself as that someone that you look up to, what does that make me?
Well, also because
But
going back to the attitude I started getting from the people, some people would also start calling me out on my own body, my insecurities. Yeah, but
hello.
at first it didn't make me angry. It just made me really sad because I'm now that I'm older and I know more. I know that a lot of people tend to do that because they're what's that saying? They're projecting.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But it still kind of took a toll on me. But I was just able to walk myself out of that and help myself. Obviously, every now and then I also struggle with my own stuff, but I'm just lucky that I feel like I'm mature enough where I can walk myself out of like a dark hole or like a dark place. So
I'm proud
yeah.
of you.
That's an important
Thank
thing
you.
to like.
Yeah.
Like sometimes the people don't realize that you can watch it happen and you can also be impacted because people tend to absorb things. They tend to well, I can just talk about it now. They tend to absorb things and when you have a loved one, you tend to act that their way even though if you don't notice it over time you start to develop similar habits and stuff like that. It's just like psychology. If you want to know more about it, look it up. But that's outside of the topic right now. But you tend to take their habits or little stuff that they do. So I started noticing that about myself. I'm like, hell no, we can't do that because if I can't help other people, if I also need help.
Right.
So just don't.
That's a good way to put things
Yeah,
into
but
perspective.
Like it's okay. Like I know a lot of people feel guilty. Sorry, I'm just trying to say it. Like a lot of people feel guilty if they start to realize they're also developing the same habits because that's all they see, that's all they know. So it's okay. I've been there, done that, felt guilty, and it's honestly okay. Like just get help. It's okay.
well, as I was saying 2
Sorry.
minutes ago, maybe
Sorry.
that I'm glad that you're open about that and that you know that that you're able to say that, hey, like yes, watching you go through this made me feel this way about myself. Because there's some people, unfortunately,
I
that
know.
when
There's the
you
good
tell
version
them,
and the bad version.
luckily my sister's the good version of people that want to actually help you. But then there's the people that the
Can we
many
name drop?
examples, no, the many examples that my sister has given, where it's you'll tell like they'll want you to open up to them, and once you do, they're
And
like,
then
oh,
and then they make your struggles their own.
suddenly
It's awful. Don't do that. You're a that. Blur it for all I care, but you're selfish if you do that, and I don't like you.
and I think
I don't like you.
I think my sister has that mentality just because of the stories I've told her with when I do open up to people. But also it's kind of like I like that my sister wants to help you. It's like, I'm glad everyone needs a Diana in their life, and I hope that, if you come across my sister, you're nice to her. And so,
Welcome home.
don't-
Like, what?
I know,
again.
like, first impressions of me, a lot of people say it's intimidating and like scary looking. I don't know how that is. I just have like what RBF or something.
And yeah.
But I think I'm a kind
sweetest little
person.
munchkin
Yeah.
on the inside.
thank you.
You're welcome. Also, wait, hold on, because I have a question.
My bad.
Finally, let me get to my question.
You can keep eating your goldfish.
I was building my commentary.
Okay,
You're a good
you can go.
interviewer. I was saying, you mentioned that you were struggling with your own
Yes.
issues, right?
Yes.
And at the same time, you're also dealing with seeing all the people that are close to you struggling with this eating disorder. How did that and what you're already dealing with take a toll on your mental health?
I'm gonna be so honest, it was bad. I'm currently undiagnosed minus anxiety and stress. I'm diagnosed with that. I'm taking my own steps in my own mental health struggles, but I still wouldn't be able to tell you without self-diagnosing what's currently wrong with me. But just uh I don't know, the best metaphor I can have to give you guys is like a chameleon. They absorb everything. Is are the chameleons the color changing things?
Mhm.
That's how I feel about myself, and I feel guilty about that sometimes. A lot of the times, definitely a lot of the time, because I just tend to absorb things. I'm quick to try to feel sympathy, empathy. I always try to put myself in the other person's perspective in their own shoes to understand before judging. That's who I am. That's who I want to be. And it took a toll on me. Honestly, I also was struggling with my own things, and then being made aware of eating disorders and stuff like that. I kind of incorporated into my own methods of getting back at myself, but I'm aware of that now. And honestly, if I were to, I I've I've been in a need of getting what is it, a psychologist help. I would be very open to opening up about that, but I don't know, just with the eating disorders, for me it was 50-50. Partially, some of the times I would also really hate my self-image, but then other times I'm also a perfectionist. I'm someone who wants straight A's, 95s or and above, or else I'm gonna kill myself. That's my mindset. Horrible, horrible. Don't do that. Please don't. But I can't be a hypocrite because that's where I am currently. But just like how self harming and stuff like that. I know eating disorder. It's like a way. Some people think it's for control or because they want to control their body types. For me, it was like it's gonna be weird. I feel like it's gonna be cringe to say it, but it was like a form of punishment. If I ever felt like my expectations were wavering in myself, that's only when I would notice signs of like I wouldn't allow myself to eat certain stuff or stuff like that. Oh my gosh, I'm sounding like the victim. I'm sorry.
No.
But then I realized that, and I'm trying to coax myself out of that. Technically.
You deserve that iced vanilla coffee from Dunkin' Donuts.
Oh, thank you. That was. Oh my gosh, that was Dunkin' iced coffees were like a huge method for me. You know how some people rely on water or gum to not eat? I would rely on coffee.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
fills people up, yeah.
It does. I'm like, you know what? I don't feel like eating or something like that. I was just like, oh my gosh, I hate it. But I was such a freaking chameleon. I would like absorb habits. So if some days I didn't feel good about myself, doesn't mean I have an eating disorder. But I would also take my own little methods and my own little techniques to do that. But don't do that.
That's not even.
No, thank you.
I
Thank
need
you.
a second to be silent.
Because I did want to put some input. I just figured I'd be
Go
getting
ahead,
no,
input.
right?
I had input.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Let's go ahead. You guys can take turns giving your input. Go ahead. Why don't you go ahead? I'll let you go first since you're so eager.
I mean, if you insist. No, that I was saying that happens a lot, and especially like I agree with you. I think like what I've always been dealing with too. It hasn't been too much of like eating and things like that, but mine's a really big thing, just perfectionism. Where it's I need to be perfect all the time, and if I'm not having straight A's, like I need to fix that at some point. And that just I think it manifests in a lot of things where it's like anxiety, stress to the point where it's and the thing is that I know that happens to a lot. I know that again, like last year you were taking these like crazy hard classes, and
That was the dark ages for me. Not only was I struggling with whatever I'm struggling with, I developed, you know, the hair pulling.
trichotillomania.
Yes, I developed that. I'm diagnosed with that. I also, oh, I don't want to really bring this up, but it's just like this once. I also self harmed by cutting and stuff like that for some period in my life. It was, I think I'm a year clean or a little bit over now.
There you go.
Yeah, thank you. And also like controlling what I ate. They were forms of like punishing myself. So
Like
dark
you have to be
ages.
perfect. And,
Yeah, I just like took in everything and like how can I um not torture myself but like punish myself for doing poorly the most I can. So don't do that. Don't absorb other people's struggles. I mean, it's okay to have your own struggles, but seek help. Seek help.
Find help.
Oh, thank you.
Good
commentary. I like your commentary.
I don't.
Okay.
Yohanna can speak now.
Right,
So.
I have 2 follow-ups actually. So I was gonna say, I don't want you to ever feel bad for absorbing, I guess, habits that me.
I felt like a hypocrite for judging all the people you would tell me about. I'm like, I can't. That's why I didn't open up about that ever. I was really quiet because hearing stories of people that were straight up evil, that would force people, overwhelming them to open up just to make it their own problem and being so vocal about it. I'm like, I never want to be that asshole. Like, never want to be that type of person that goes against like my morals, my values as a person. So I felt really guilty, essentially.
No, I would never want someone. Definitely because you never went about it a bad way. But I'm not dumb. Like I said, I can pick up signs in a person. So even if you think I didn't notice, there's definitely been times where I peeped something where like, hey,
Yeah, I'm not slick. Like, I wear my heart on my face. Like, if I don't like you, I'm probably glaring at you. It's really easy to read me if you know me well enough. And even I don't even try to hide stuff because I'm like, if I feel or think a certain way, I feel the need to advocate about it. I feel the need to express about it, struggles or whatever it may be. So yeah, if you probably peep something, definitely, I'm not really trying to hide anything.
Right.
Like I'm a huge advocate for help, therapy and stuff like that. Professional therapy, school counselor, no, thank you. I don't like them because they tend to gossip. In my own experience, I don't really like that. I don't trust them. But therapy, psychologist, professionals, definitely, I will always advocate, and I'm eager to start my own journey in that.
I feel like again, it's your older. But myself like a person. I like it's like I'm your older sister, right? It's like you said, there's people that you look up to, like your friends that you think are great people. It's like they're supposed to be setting examples for you. Tying back to that thing, did you ever feel the need to be a role model for your sisters? I don't think you should feel bad about that because again, it's our job to be a role model, to give you good examples. Like you shouldn't. I feel like as a younger sister, you shouldn't ever have to look up to your older sibling and be like, "Man, what is wrong with you? Like, get better." But also following that on your emotions. Did you ever feel like your mental health problems had to take a backseat
Because of
of
the other
everything that I
people.
had going on?
Yeah, you know the term glass child and stuff like that. Definitely, I felt I didn't want to be. I never wanted to make it about myself. So whenever I would think, oh, like the term glass child, when I came upon it, I'm like, yeah, but I don't want to label myself as that because then that's being like making it about myself, and I didn't want that because I knew like my sister, my best friends, they needed help. And yeah, I always felt like my needs were put second to other people around me. Not that I blame them, I never will blame them for that. It's just reality. Like a lot of people, they focus about one person's struggle, they forget, oh, there's other people that probably struggle. So, and if you get put into like obviously the backseat, if you get put as second, but also I would say it was my fault because I always made myself seem to my parents like I'm this child that doesn't need help. I can do it myself.
Right,
Independent.
Perfect grades.
Exactly. I like to pride myself as someone that's independent. I don't need help. I don't need I don't like being seen as weak or vulnerable. I don't like that. I want to be capable. I don't want to need like extra help. So I was always like the term like I always try to be that perfect child, that perfect daughter for my parents, and I feel like it took a toll on me. And then also being like, then that led to me feeling like I'm the term like class child,
Yeah.
of course.
Which makes sense too because it's like if your parents are aware about it, and I guess every family's aware about like Johanna.
Yeah,
like,
and it was
having,
her situation was serious,
yeah.
so of
You
course,
don't want to be like, oh, my issues. Like I think you almost have that mentality of my issues are nothing compared to.
exactly.
We could have gone to family therapy at this point.
Right.
Yeah.
No, and I can like, dude, I completely understand what you're saying because exactly how I
Did it turn off?
think so.
Here, you can have mine.
You.
Thanks.
Let me see if it keeps on working, but I know what you meant though because um that's exactly how I felt with, especially because like this is my older sister had a lot going on, and also with my brother. So it's like even though I don't think I was into the class chat, I think that's more of my older brother. But I know what you mean, though, to the fact where it's you feel like your issues, even though they were big, they were important, they just don't seem as important because it's like there's someone who's actively people are aware about what's happening, and you didn't want to feel like a burden.
Yeah, it was this year when my parents really started focusing on me too. They started realizing, oh, not only is our older daughter struggling, our middle child is too. I'm like, yeah, me too. And at first, I felt a lot of guilt. Like I felt ashamed. I'm like, seriously, why am I giving them more trouble, more like problems? But then my parents and people around me, even my sister, my best friends, they started calling me out. They were like, "You're always, you're always, you always stay in your room. You're always in the dark. You're never like, you don't seek other people out. You don't hang out with people. You don't text people." Like when you're in high school, obviously this
Switch
year.
that out real quick.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're good.
When I started finally getting invited to hangouts with new friends, my parents were super excited. I'm like, why are you guys acting like I just like got accepted into Harvard or something? Like, hello? And because it was a simple hangout and I didn't realize I was really like kept to myself, super introverted. I kept to myself so much. Like even my sister barely knew me at some point. My best friends, like they would know the also like that act that putting your best self, the most energized version in front of like some of my friends. But then when I came home, I'm like, I would take naps for like hours. I wouldn't do anything. I would just be in my room watching movies. It was like isolating and it was like dark. You want my mic? I don't know if you wanted my hand. But
Are you done talking? Okay. I think before we get into that, into the closing, into close to an hour. Yeah. Dan is just talking talk.
That's good. This is like
Yeah.
genuinely the easiest one it's been ever.
Yeah.
Like if you need a talker, I'm like,
I was gonna say before we go into recovery and focusing, doing that shift back to.
good quote I wanted to bring up.
Think about it again. Well, before we go into recovery and looking back on stuff, I wanted you both mentioned that whole perfectionism thing with your grades and anxiety and all that stuff. And I know that I was really big on telling my sister this. I think you need to hear it too. Matter of fact, I think everyone out there that struggles with academic validation needs to hear this too. Thankfully, or not thankfully, but I've never struggled with that academic anxiety of I need to have a 95. I need to be Harvard bound. Like thank God I've never dealt with that. But I just wanted you both to know, and anyone else watching, that you're way more than just your grades. Your grades do not define you as a person. And even if you get a C or a B, it's not the end of the world. Like, you really think any college is gonna care that you got a C in in algebra 2?
But
no.
Not that easy.
I know it's not that it's easy, but it's
say
just
it,
it's
but
a good it's a good reminder to have that there's more to life than just getting an
I've been told that a lot. Have you? But what? That you're more than your grades.
I know.
It's so hard to leave that mindset. Like it's the same for you. Different situations. It's like how you're saying people can tell you you're not fat, you can eat, but can you just do it right away? No,
Yeah,
you
well,
can
not
tell
too
you
much
can
into
tell me
that.
and Grace as many times as you want. You're more than your grades, but the minute we get like a 75, we're gonna freak out. We're gonna get mad. I know.
Yeah.
For me, it was like kill myself. Like It was
Alright.
horrible.
No, no, no.
I know, I'm sorry.
No, it's alright. I know
But
what
we
you mean.
struggled the same thing. So of course, regardless of how severe it was, we both struggled
Yeah.
the same thing. For me, it was horrible. Like, oh my gosh. Like I remember my first, what was it, pre SAT?
Mhm.
I got back my score and it was kind of bad. I expected better immediately. That's when I relapsed and like it was
Yeah.
horrible. Yeah, but like it, obviously you can't just say something and we can all go around in a circle saying kumbaya. Like
Yeah,
it
I know
takes
exactly.
time.
No, I was just saying it's a reminder.
Yeah.
No, I
I'm
know.
not saying like change your mind.
But
I'm
yeah,
saying,
it's
like,
good.
Remind yourself.
Yes,
yourself.
having reminders, what's the quote stuff called? I love these uh quotes. Was it, what is it, affirmations?
Mm.
They might be annoying, but they're great reminders, of course, like you were saying. Like, does it change everything,
No.
like the next overnight? No, but they're baby steps and they're good reminders. It's like it just helps you, like if you know how vision boards, you need to see it. Exactly, I also have one. I love vision boards. You, although it doesn't change everything, it doesn't give you everything immediately, it's a good reminder. You're seeing it every day. You're what's the word,
Manifesting?
exactly. And you're just, if you don't see it constantly, you don't hear it constantly, you're gonna forget it. So even if it doesn't change everything overnight, great reminders, like Johanna said.
And also, yeah, I know what you mean is like, kind of like backing off of what Diana said. It's also just the whole fact where it's, I feel like it's like my siblings as well, and my brothers, they've never been the really academic type, and I'm like the youngest one, so it's almost like, okay, you're like low-key the last hope, blah blah. It's like my sister, she's always kind of done her own thing, done whatever she wants. My brother, he's just the same thing. Sebby's the exact same way, so it's just yeah. But it's just the fact where I don't know. I feel like it's like I'm the last hope. Wanted. They've always wanted a doctor in the family. They always wanted this, and I'm just like, okay, now put it into action and do it. So I don't know, but I know what you mean though. It's the same thing, just two different stuff. Yeah.
It'd be different. I was like, remember, like every morning you wake up, you're like, remember this? Yeah, no, it's like a once in a while. Like if you're really freaking out, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wait,
no, this is
this
very
one's, like,
important.
working.
This is very important, guys. This is a great point. You don't, like, you don't have to be already healed and like cured. That doesn't happen. That's unrealistic. And if you keep chasing that standard, that goal, that I'm just gonna recover and everything's gonna be fine, you're not gonna get anywhere. You're gonna burn out and you're gonna probably relapse. Just remember to like take a deep breath and remind yourself it's okay if you're still on that process. Like that's what matters. You're taking the steps to help yourself. And even if right now you're not doing good, one day in the future you will be. And that's super important. Don't forget that. Oh no, it turned off.
He still got that one.
Do
Okay. So yeah. So what was it like for you, or kind of how did you experience it as like when your sister became the process of recovery, and kind of how did your role as a sister change during that time?
Um, I felt for a time that I took the position myself to step up into the mindset of being the older sister, although clearly I'm not that. And I never held my sister against that. I just wanted to help her. Like I tried to do whatever I could to help her. So I kind of went into that mindset like I'm gonna have to act like the more mature person. I am the more mature person, the more wise person, and like the older sister mindset, even though I'm not the older sister. So never did I get mad about that. I just accepted it because I'm like, you know what? She needs me there. And if she needs me to be like strong and like madura there for her, then I'll do that. And just like being there as a reminder. And I'm glad you took back your role because like I'm okay where I am. And being a step up sister.
I just keep on thinking the thing it's like the bills are paid, kids are clean, you're doing a good job,
Yeah.
mama. It's like, bro.
I felt really proud. I felt like a proud older sibling when she started recovering.
Aw,
Yeah.
that's sweet. Oh, that's kind of tying like it back into um kind of with this whole thing happening. What did you learn about like strength, resilience, or love watching her heal? Or I don't know, how did you support her in a way that was healthy to both of you guys?
I never try to hold her up to unrealistic standards and expectations. We already talked about this multiple times, but it's really important to mention that you can't just go around asking your loved ones that are struggling, do it for me. Sometimes it might work, sometimes it may not. And obviously, you can't overwhelm people. You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't tell them stuff like that. That's how I just feel about it. And I just try to be comforting whenever I could be. If I felt like not only my sister but my best friends, if we were gonna eat dinner, lunch, breakfast, whatever it was, and I could feel like we were all starting to eat, but they were the ones that were like, they were starting to look anxious, or like they didn't want to eat, they were starting to like get scared or whatever it was, I would just like to remind them like it's okay, it's just food. And if you immediately want to do something to like feel like balance it, I don't know what it may be, that burn off those calories or whatever it may be, we can do that. And just be there wherever you can be and try to be comforting, not overwhelming, and don't really like overstep or be obnoxious. Does that make sense?
It does,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, how have these experiences and yours, like your experiences, shaped the way that you see mental health today?
I see it as something that really needs to be advocated for, and it shouldn't be taken as a joke. It shouldn't be normalized. It shouldn't be romanticized. You and you should realize that everyone can struggle. And just because one person is struggling doesn't mean you're not struggling. You're allowed to struggle, and you're allowed to want to seek help. And don't be angry with those that see you struggling and they want to help you. They're not doing it out of like um meanness or whatever. They're doing it out of love, and it may take time to see that, but when the time comes that you're finally getting better, you will appreciate it. And just know you're not alone in your struggles. I know it can feel like that. I've been there. I've had those thoughts where I feel like I'm the only one that's struggling with this. I feel like no one's gonna understand what I'm going through, and it's better if I just like kill myself, slam myself out, whatever it is. And yeah, it's like it's and you should really educate yourself with mental health. Your parents don't know everything. Your parents, just because they had a harder life according to them, that doesn't mean you can't struggle. You may be born with it. It can be genetics. It can be just like your chemical imbalance that you were born with, and it's totally okay. You don't have to feel guilty, you don't have to feel ashamed, you don't have to feel like you're burdening everyone because you should be this normal perfect person who doesn't struggle, because that's not how your brain works, that's not how your body works. And if you want to know more about it, search up articles, search up on Safari, like educate yourself. How can I help myself not fall into depressive episodes or develop an eating disorder? Or just speak up to the person you're the most comfortable with. That can be your first step. Just know you're not alone. There's definitely someone that look up to you, that they appreciate you every day. Just going to school probably makes their day worth going through. Vice versa, like don't forget, like we're all people, we all go through struggles, Sonder, like just be aware of that, and don't spread misinformation, and just help each other out. Don't purposefully be that person that seeks out that information just to make it about yourself. Don't do that. I don't like you if you do that. Period. Yeah.
Word.
Yeah, that was honest. That was so well said. I especially think that people have a hard time realizing that you can be a support system while also just having your own issues by yourself, and it's important to balance the two, and like prioritize yourself as well. So, kind of again, our last question, closing everything off. What's something that you always wanted your sister or any of your friends to know about how you felt during that time, and when you look back at it now, what makes you the most proud?
What could I tell the people that struggled in my life? I would tell them you're more than your body. A Bible quote, you are beautifully and wonderfully made. Is that how the Bible fearfully made? Um fearfully and wonderfully made. You
She did it right the first time.
we can fact check after this video.
Go ahead.
You are, this goes out beyond just my sister and my family and my friends that struggle. Everyone. You are more than your body. You're more than your physical appearance. If you believe in God, God doesn't judge based on your appearance. At least that's what the Bible says. The Bible says, don't judge a man by his appearance, for God judges by the heart. Don't let your thoughts, your emotions, what you think take over you. I know, like, I can't, it's hard. I've been there, done that. But try to push past that. Realize you're more than that. And there will always be reminders in your life. There will be people who will willingly tell you without you needing to tell them that you're more than just your physical appearance. You are your what you've done and what like your dreams, your hopes, your aspirations. You're more than just your don't limit yourself to your body. That's not no, we don't do that. You're more than that. Like, are you a kind person? Are you a smart person? Like, you're so much more. Don't forget that. And just like, even if it's hard, just just pause and remind yourself you are not your body. You are not just that. Sure, God gave it to you. That doesn't mean that's all you are. God gave you so much more than that. And it's okay. Like, it's okay to struggle. And what would I tell them? What the second part of the question, what I'm proud about?
Like, what are you most proud about?
I'm proud of the people that I have encountered and been very lucky to know and hear about their stories, know about them, experience it with them, is that I'm very proud of how far they've come, and they're always the kindest people who struggle. And that's why it makes it so hard to like detect, because you're like, they're such a kind person, they're always smiling, like how could they possibly struggle? I admire how persistent you are to like be happy and put others people happiness first. But it's okay to also like um prioritize yourself every now and then, because like you can't just give out so much without return. The law of science, like, you can't create matter out of anything. You can only be like changed. It was this beautiful quote that I read once, that matter cannot be created or destroyed. It can only be, what is it called? Transformed. So if you keep giving out and you're not being given back, you're gonna end up empty at some point. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it
Does that make
does.
sense to you? I should check in with her if it makes sense with her.
No, yeah. Over here tearing up so much. You get it, sweetie? Like, yes,
You
I
get
get
it? And I'm just really proud that they've taken steps into recovery. And if you haven't, don't be scared to reach out. Like, there are so many people that want what's best for you. And yeah, like, look towards that. Look towards that positivity in your life and reach out to it, because it's there for you.
Honestly, thank you so much for coming on. Like, I think this is, I think by far one of our easiest talks that we've had. I like you're like the way you're so smart. Like, it's just the way you speak. It's just, I don't know, like you. I don't know. I feel like everyone just gravitates towards you easily. But yeah, like popped out with 5 quotes. Genius. All right,
I
but
had more, but I forgot them.
but thank you so much, and everyone, thank you guys so much for listening. Make sure to follow us on the rest of our socials. They're to be linked down in the description. Yeah, if you guys stayed tuned for the entire time, I really appreciate it, and I hope that anyone who's out there struggling, just know that you're not alone. There are so many people, so many testimonies that you're going to hear later on as well. To know that I know it might be an isolating thing, but there are people to help. We're here to help. Yeah. All right. Thank you guys. Bye. Oh, not done yet, I guess.
Yeah, you didn't. In our next video, we're going to be doing a deep dive into what binge eating looks like. So make sure you follow us and you can watch that video too. Bye.